All right, boys and girls, this week in math, we're going to be comparing within 10. We have been counting 10, and the next week we will be making 10. So this week we're going to be talking about numbers that are less than or more than 10. We're going to be comparing within 10. So on page 67 and 68 in your math book, there's not a lot you'll be doing. You can draw with me. Basically, it's just the opening to our lessons. We'll be using some counters here on our video. You can use crayons at home as counters. You can use anything, chips, M&Ms, coins, whatever, any two things that are different. That's what you can use as counters. So just follow along. Page 67 and 68 will be on this video. And then if you have any questions, please ask. But it's mostly just following along with us. You can play it a couple times to help you understand how we're going to compare within 10. But I'm going to start on page 67. And down here, I'm just going to be using, I'm going to have counters of 6 and I'm going to have counters of 7. So I'm just starting on this page with the numbers 6 and 7. So here I have 6 on one side and 7 on 7. So our goal basically is we're going to talk about which has more, which has less, and then how do you know, or what's a different way that I can organize my counters or my objects to better show how many I have to try to quickly get to more or less. So over here, I'm going to check. I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 counters, and on over here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 counters. So I have 6 counters and I have 7. My 6 are white and my 7 are red. So I'm going to think about in my head which I have more of. Is 7 a bigger number or is 6 a bigger number? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can use my fingers. I can draw however I need to do this, but I am going to have to figure out that 7 is my bigger number. And I also can do that when I am counting to 10. I know that 7 comes after 6 as well. So my next step, once I know that 7 is bigger than 6 or more than, I really want to use, I want to try using those words more than and less than. So I would say that 6 is less than 7, or I could say 7 is more than 6. However you would like to word it, just try to use the words more and less. All right, but here I'm going to show you a different way to organize our counters to hopefully make it a little bit easier for us if I just wanted to look at a glance without trying to count them. So to do that, basically we want to put them in a row or in a row or an array, something to organize our counters. So I have 3 on the top. This is why we use 10 frames a lot to help us organize, and so it's easier. We can quickly look at a glance to see what we're looking for. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. So if I did this with my 7, I could do it like this. 1, 2, 3, and then I did 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I had 6, but then I had 1 more. So I could keep it down here, right? Because to me that makes, I have 3, 3, and then I have 1 more. So which group has more? To me, this is very clear because they're even, and then I have 1 more. So I would know, even without counting them, even if I couldn't count them, I could look at these 2 groups and know that this group has more because they're arranged the same way, except I have 1 extra down here. Okay, you could do it a couple different ways, and this is where your practice can come in. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I could do it like this. I could line them up and down. Okay. There you go. I have 1 more still in my rows. I could do them like in a 10 frame. I could do 5 across. And I would have 2 on the bottom for 7, but I would know for 6, I would only have 1 on the bottom. So once again, our goal is just to be able to look at these 2 pictures and know which one has less and which one has more. Whatever the number may be. We just use 6 and 7 on this page. All right, I'm going to clear my board. I'm going to come and I'm going to find page 68. So the last math page we will be doing together. Once you're on page 68, we should be good to go. All right, so same thing. I'm going to change the directions a little bit, and I am going to use the numbers. Well, we'll use 5 and 7. That's fine. We're not going to use 6 because we just did 6. So I'm going to use the numbers 5 and 7. I have lost my counters. There they are. All right. Perfect. All right. Actually, let's do this. We've already used 7 too. So I'm going to start with 5 over here. 5. And I'm going to put 10 over here. 9, 10. So, all right, boys and girls. So if I know if these aren't organized in any way, these are just piles, correct? Let's not even worry about the numbers. Let's just say we don't even know how many are in there. If I am looking at these two pictures, these two separate counters, how am I going to be able to tell which group has more, and how am I going to be able to tell which group has less? Well, right now, that's very clear to me. If I looked at this square and I looked at this square and I asked you which group has more, we would definitely say this group. Which group has less? This group. And that's just not even counting yet. That's just looking at the picture and comparing. Comparing within 10 simply means that we're not going higher than 10 and we're going anywhere from 0 to 10. And speaking of 0, I could take away these. Which group has more? This group definitely has more. There's not even any here. That shouldn't even be a question, right? But when I do this, and then I do this, and I put these back on here, now it gets tricky. So now I will be asking myself, if I asked you which group has more, I wouldn't be able to tell unless I counted with my eyes. But right now, probably where we are in kindergarten, I don't really trust myself to do that. So I definitely would be taking out my fingers and using them to count these to answer that question. So I have 1, and then when I'm counting, I probably would be organizing them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just like that. And then I would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would be able to tell you that I have the same number. And this is where I could use the word equal. They're equal, or I have the same amount on both sides. I do not have more than or less than. I have the same. They're equal. 5 and 5 is the same. They're equal. You could add one more. I probably still would have to count, and then I would organize them the way I wanted them to be organized to show me which one has more and which one has less. I know we didn't do a lot of writing, but like I said, you could make this permanent by drawing, coloring, however you wanted to do it. I hope you found some things to use at home. If you didn't, I would be happy to share some things with you for the future or even later this week. And then please let me know if you need anything. I will be around all day to help. I hope you guys have a great day.